Pranam again. I do apologize for the disruption that I had just a second ago while I was answering your inquiry. You understand why I'm saying to you, I apologize for that. Somebody has inquired how to live in the present moment. This video, I am, even though the broadband issues, the bandwidth, unfortunately, my device here lost the bandwidth with the modem and it got disconnected. The person, a poor lady who's going through a tough time for a long period of time, she has asked or inquired how to live in the present moment and what measures can be taken and what tools we can use to live in the present moment. So I'm just trying to first zeroing in what I said in the previous video. The first we understood what memory is. Memory is not real. Memory is a marker basically which helps us right now to function in the present moment. And that is the sole purpose of the memory. However, the nature of the mind is as such that it rearranges the memory and it makes scenario. It can make scenario in terms or in form of our imagination. And then what happens is those imagination may seem very real sometimes. Those imagination may seem very compelling. If we do not, when we come in the human form, and if we do not learn how to take charge of the memory and how to take charge of the imagination, pardon me. If we do not know how to take charge of the memory and if we do not know how to take charge of the imagination, it actually takes away the present moment. We humans, half of the time, if somebody confides in us, we tell them, stop living in the past, don't worry about it, it's going to be okay. We do not know a person who is really looking for help, that how to live in the present moment. Living in the present moment means that you have taken charge of the memory and you have taken charge of your imagination. Memory and imagination makes what mind is. However, memory, remember something. Memory helps you to function in the present moment. You, through memory, through memory, you remember that what something is cold. For instance, this is a bottle of water. I wouldn't, if you take all my memory away in this very present moment, I would not know what this is. You see, that's the sole purpose of memory. Memory helps us function in the present moment. Memory helps us evolve technologically. But if you want your soul to evolve, or in other words, if you want your soul to evolve, or in other words, if you want to take charge of your imagination and your memory, and if you want to live in the present and present moment only, which is the only real thing right now, then you need to go beyond the memory and beyond the imagination. That would not happen unless we create sufficient distance between what we essentially are, our mind and our emotions. First thing, understand something. What has happened in the past, no matter how serious that is, somebody wronged us, for instance. Please look into it. I want you to please look into it profoundly. If somebody has wronged us in the past, that we basically have no control. Most people, unfortunately, or most human, always contemplating, most humans, or at least half of the time, they are contemplating if somebody has wronged them to get even. Are you following what I'm saying to you? They are contemplating to get even. They wouldn't let it go. But the thing is, please understand your very nature. Your very nature is to let go, no matter what that is. What if you go in accord with your very nature? You understand what I'm saying to you? If you go in accord with your very nature, you are always happy. But if you go against your very nature, you are not happy. It's it's very easy for somebody to say, or for me, that stop living in the past or stop living in the memory. This is what we most humans do. We tell other people when those poor people confide in us, but we do not give them tool, basically how to. The tool can only be found, or the tool can only be achieved when we look into it, what's happening. Otherwise, it's just like, as I mentioned other day, putting a band-aid here on the wound, you see, but not taking care of the wound itself from the root. So nothing would happen if you put the band-aid, nothing would happen, or very little would happen. So memory is the past. Most of the time, if you ask people, they would tell you that they are having really hard time to let go because somebody has wronged them, or some family member, or some relative, or some friend, or some acquaintance. It can be something very little, or it can be something really big, just depending on the individual and the perception of them, that how they perceive things. Are you following me? Please understand that what has happened before, you have no control over it. That's number one thing to know. It has happened already. It cannot be undone. It cannot be changed. However, when you remember something, you understand why I'm saying the word remember? You remember over and over that wrongdoing by somebody, and you feel a very unpleasant feeling in you. You feel a feeling of discomfort in you. You feel you don't like the feeling. It seems like, almost, if you remember, or if we remember that somebody has wronged us, it almost feels like that there is a fire which is lit up right by our ears, and the feeling of agitation takes over us. You see, this is all happening because of the past. Something which has happened in the past is done, it cannot be changed. If you wronged somebody by mistake or not intentionally, you need to learn what you can, not, as I said, not intentionally or by mistake. You need to learn what could you do if the similar situation arises in the future. What better could you do? You see, what better? You grow from it, but you do not linger on it. You understand what I'm saying? There is no need to linger. Please know that, because it would not take you anywhere, except it would take the present moment away from you. Are you following me what I'm saying to you? It's very important to remember. Remember the word remember. So don't remember the past itself, you see, because it has no hold on you. It has no existential reality. It has no existential significance for you. What has existential significance for you is what's happening right now, even if it feels like, or it seems like, that nothing is happening. There is a lot of things happening. First thing in to live in the present moment, and the first tool would be pay gratitude to the most important activity that there is and happening, which is the life is running through your body. This is happening right now, and it is the most important activity which is happening to us, to all of us, because we remember and we know, if this activity, the life running through our body, if this activity stops, all the other activities are going to stop. So have we, instead of something which has happened and it cannot be undone, excuse me, and there is nothing we can do about it. However, there is one brilliant thing we can do, that we can learn from it, we can grow from it. You see, if somebody wronged us, we can learn from it, we can grow from it. You see, if we wrong somebody by mistake, unfortunately, or unintentionally, we need to learn from it and grow from it. You see, because everything which has happened has happened. In practical, we have no control on it. But the reason it happened, that whether we shed the karma from it or we accumulated more karma, if we conduct the very process of our life consciously and with awareness, I can guarantee you, you would not accumulate more karma, but you would see everything as an opportunity to shed karma. And remember, we talked about in numerous messages in the past that the sole purpose of human life is to shed the karma and find happiness. If you give too much significance to past, you live in the past. What has happened gains a lot of significance, unfortunately, in you, but it is not real, and it can be proven by a very simple example. If it was real, you see what I am saying to you, if it was real, you would be able to step in it. You understand what I'm saying to you? If the past is real, which you give so much significance, which you give so much importance, the only importance it has, that what could you or what could we do better next time? That's number one. Number two, what it was trying to teach us. Look at it profoundly, but not attaching ourselves emotionally, because the problem starts when we attach ourselves emotionally, then we get hurt. Excuse me. As my mentor Don Miguel Ruiz writes in his book, that we made a mistake 10 years back, and we made a mistake 10 years back, and the excuse of our suffering, that we made a mistake or you made a mistake 10 years back, a terrible mistake. But truth of the matter is, you didn't make the mistake 10 years back. You made the mistake 10 seconds back, when you remembered about the mistake that you made 10 years back, and you relive it. Past is not about reliving. Past is there for you to grow and move on. You understand? That's the significance of the present moment. There is no past, because if the past has any existential significance, you would be able to step in the past. If I ask you right now, watch me and follow my words. If I ask you right now, please step into the past. You see what I'm saying to you? If I ask you right now, please step into the past, it's not possible. Somebody can say, no, but I can still think about it. Yeah, you can still think about it, but you cannot relive it. What you are thinking about the past is the very thing we are talking about here. You see? And that's how you start living in the past. We are trying to show you rather clear picture that it's not necessary for you to relive in your mind. What you have in your mind has no significance or existential reality. Right now, you are watching me on your computer. Right now, you are watching me on your phone screen or any of the other electronic devices you are watching me on. You are hearing the sound of my voice. You are witnessing my physique in a traditional yoga or Hindu dress, whatever you want to call it. But the truth of the matter is, this is the present moment. If I ask you, please deny what you are experiencing or what's your perception, you cannot do that. That has existential reality for both of us. You see, your hearing, your side, it has a very existential reality. This is what we understand as present moment. Means right now, when your focus becomes so intact towards the sound of my voice or what I am saying and all my words, that you forget about what has happened before, that is what we understand living in the moment. We cannot learn to live in the moment until unless we know how to use our memory. Memory is good enough basically to remember things such as, oh, this is a bottle of water. The reason I'm recognizing this is a bottle of water is because I have a memory of it. You understand? If somebody takes all my memory away, if somebody wipes all my memory away right now, I wouldn't be able to know what this is, or anything. You see, that's the sole purpose of the memory, that we remember things to function in the present moment in the society. We remember things so we can create and invent new commodities of luxuries and stuffs like that. But it does not mean when we are alone, we still live in the psychological drama or the memory. You understand what I'm saying to you? It does not mean when we are alone, we need to take the mask off. We need to take the mask off the role that we are playing and trying to shed our karma. And then we fall back what our fundamental nature is, which is pure awareness. You see what I'm saying to you? Then we fall back to our fundamental state, which is pure consciousness and pure awareness. And then after that, we rest there. You see, if we make this a habit every day, what I am saying, that we fall back to our fundamental nature or the basic nature, I am referring to meditation. I am referring you to make some time in a super silent corner, as I always tell you. You see, I'm referring you to make some time in a super silent corner and sit by yourself. And in that, when we relax, the awareness, the sense of self awareness or consciousness, it relaxes, it falls back. You see, it's not necessary when we are by ourselves and we are not functioning in the society, it's not necessary to live in the past. Are you following me? Because past has no existential significance. You see, no matter how much you live in the past, no matter how much you are preoccupied with your thoughts, you cannot change a thing. You see, because what has happened, what has happened. However, do not let the present slip because of the past. Right now, this is where the free will comes from. Right now, you have a choice and you have a will to change what's being done by practicing your free will. But that would only happen when you understand what's going on. What is memory? How I can handle this. You see? And that's exactly what I'm doing. I am basically giving you the tools to handle the memory. Memory is important. There is no doubt in my mind about that. However, living in the memory would stop the process of evolving. You see, if we need to evolve and if we need to shed our karma, we have to be very alert and we have to be very clear. Our awareness, our perception must be transparent. You see, memories are thoughts. When, if you want to ever experience divinity or what sacred is, you need to go beyond thought. Because remember something, a thought can be this big, and a thought can be humongous, but a thought is limited. You see, every time you have a thought about something or someone, no matter how small or big of that thought is, the thought is limited. It's always limited. It has boundaries. However, the sacred, the infinite, the boundless has no boundaries. So if you want to tap on the sacred, if you want to tap on the divinity, you need to come out of the thoughts. Thoughts are basically all the data that you have gathered through your five senses. Those are called thoughts. You see what I'm saying to you? And thoughts are only significant when we want to manifest something. Thoughts are only significant when we want to communicate, we want to tell somebody, or we want to ask, this is what I want, this is what you want, this is what I want, and this is what you want, and all that. You see, then thoughts are important. Through thoughts, you would manifest a certain situation and an action. But when you are by yourself sitting, you still carry on with the thoughts. You have become too attached to the role you are playing to shed your karma in the very experience of this carnation. You see, then imagination kicks in. As I said, that when we come as a human, we have memory and imagination. Then imagination kicks in. What is imagination? Imagination is a scenario created by your mind, because mind does not like to be bored. You understand what I'm saying? Thought or imagination is not what mind does. Thought and imagination is what mind is. When there is no thought or imagination present, there is no mind present. You see, brain is an organ in your body in which all the data is going to be stored, but the data is also stored in on numerous different levels in your body, apart from brain. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, we'll not go into that right now. I'm trying to answer your inquiry because I understand that it is very difficult, but it to live with the memory, and specifically if the past or the future is taking your present away. I understand that, and I am doing my level best to tell you, at least, to bring a little more clarity in you so you can understand what's going on better and how you can prevent yourself with the influence of memory and with the influence of imagination, if you know what I mean. Imagination are the scenarios, something like a possibility that may or may not happen. The thoughts mind creates are very compelling. Humans have imagination. That's why we see all these inventions around us. That's why we see all these infrastructure around us, and we have evolved consciously. You see, that's why we see all this. It, however, imagination also can be scary if we do not know how to handle the imagination. It can also seize the function expression of our very life. So, in order to basically take a charge on imagination, we need to take a charge of the memory, which I have told you in a vivid detail and have clarified that how that can be done. You see, words, images, all that you have gathered has no significance on you. It has no hold on you. You see, it is there only and only for one reason, and the reason is basically to learn from it and to grow from it. What can be done if a similar situation arises? What could I have done better? This is why it's there for. Other than that, it has no. Once you handle to learn that, you can have a control on your imagination. If I tell you that let's sit here silent and ponder and just defocus from everywhere. As soon as we sit here silent and we close our eyes, we realize that our mind is either going to what has happened or it is going to what is going to happen. What has happened and what is going to happen. Please know and remember, it is so clear and it is so generic that it is always overlooked. Please remember what has happened and what is going to happen is not real. Because what has happened or what is going to happen, if it was real, I would like you to take a step into what has happened or what is going to happen. And of course, you know the answer as well as I do. It is not possible. That you can take charge of that what has happened and what is going to happen by maintaining simple practices regularly with your devotion. It just depends how serious you are about your well-being. You see, people, it does not happen. I always tell my followers that it does not happen in a blink of an eye or in a second. It's not a drive through awareness. It's not a drive through realization that would happen just like that. You know, here in America, we have drive throughs for the fast food. It would never happen. I have quoted Swami Yoga Ananda before. You remember, I have quoted, and he said that if you want to bring a change, you need to put efforts this place, and this is the time to do it. So everything takes time. It will happen, and you would start seeing the result very soon if you are taking the right measures. You see, taking the right measure means first thing, as soon as we see somebody, we realize something inside us yells that cage this person so mine can rest. But it's a mirage, it's not real. You see what I'm saying? Meaning judge that person or classify that person or try to understand that person so your mind can rest. In other words, judge that person. That's what I'm saying. However, you cannot figure anybody out, even with the judgment. It first of all, it takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of awareness, basically. And two, what you are judging or what you are thinking, you are living in a delusion that you have figured somebody out. You are perceiving, judging, or living your own thought process. It has nothing to do with that person. So when we little by little every day we try to practice these things, we it becomes our routine. Okay, it's not necessary for me to concern myself with somebody because it is serving no practical purpose. So I need to take right measures, basically, first to get rid of all the nasty habits or the human conditioning that we human have learned. We have talked about that in numerous messages in the past, that how to take the right measures. Specifically, there is a retreat or the video in which I talk about how to live a happy life. In that particular video, I tell you that how to take these right measures. If you take the right measures, it's a combination to live in the present moment. It is very possible. It's a beautiful thing and it's a beautiful news. To live in the present moment is very, very, very possible. You know, it's not impossible, it is very possible. To It's a combination of numerous things that you take the right measures. You stop unnecessary human conditioning. You see, these are nothing but just the nasty habits concerning ourselves with other people's point of view, concerning ourselves with other people, judging other people, and gossiping. These are all nasty habits. And when your vacuum is so occupied with all these nasty habits, then there is no chance of living in the present moment. Then the present moment is slipping away right under our nose. If you ever want to live in the present moment, make the practice the combination of various things take the right measures. You see, get rid of the nasty habits or the human conditioning, such as gossips, such as backbiting, such as judging, such as spending tons and tons of energy in the things which are abstract, in the things that would not last forever, in the things which are just like an addiction that would give you a mind high for a couple of minutes or a few minutes and then it would dissipate. You see, it's not really worth it. Invest yourself in something which would last forever. You see, there is something which would last forever. Learn to invest yourself. You see, this does not happen in a lifetime. Excuse me. This does not happen in a night time. This does not happen in a second or a minute. However, it is very possible to get there. If you like what you see, please ponder on what I am saying to you. I live in the present moment, or at least for the most part. Right now, I'm talking to you for almost at least 45, 40 minutes. With the exception of the broadband issue we had, and I literally have no thought in my mind. I'm not influenced by my memory. I'm not thinking about what's going to happen in the next moment. I can know without even thinking. Besides, thought is not telling you anything new. Thought is telling you what you already know. It's not really wise for you to perceive what you already know. You see, I'm still in a state of meditation and I'm giving you all this awareness. You see, how do you bring yourself to this point where the process of the carnation or the process of life becomes automatic? You see, and I don't really have to put any effort towards anything. How do you bring yourself to it? This point, you take the right measures, my loved ones, you take the right measures, my friends, and then what you do again, the most significant thing would be in this, uh, to live in the present moment. First, you get rid of, you take the right measures. That's number one. Number two, what you do is basically you make time for yourself every day. You see, as I said, meditation yesterday. Please watch the video too, by the way, and you would know how to perform it. It's very simple. Uh, in the present moment, as I said, that you should be given the gratitude to the most important activity that which is happening right now. And you know what that is? That is living in the present moment and giving gratitude to the breathing. It's not the oxygen we are breathing in, and it's not the carbon dioxide that we are breathing out. It's life. You see life going in and life going out. You do that sometime. Maybe in the beginning, I just remembered maybe in the beginning for a few minutes, and then the day after a little more, then it becomes a part of your daily life routine. First thing in the morning, when your body has not accumulated a lot of data through your five senses, you do that. You sit down, you face a wall on which there is nothing written, regardless of the color of the wall. So nothing would uh, occupy your attention. You sit down, you see, and you just pay attention and the gratitude consciously to your breathing pattern. Take the right measures, then you would live in the moment. Then you would not be preoccupied for whatever has happened in the past. Then it would be easy for you to let go. Let go of every negative trait that makes you restless. You see, then there would not be a contradiction in your awareness. Then there would not be a friction in your awareness. Then you are living in the present moment, you know? That's what it means to live in the present moment. Uh,